And joining me now to speak more on stage 2 of the province of Ontario's reopening and how it will affect our riding is our member of provincial parliament, Jim McDonell. Welcome back to the show, MPP.
Yeah, good afternoon.
All right, so as I just alluded to, stage 2 as of Friday, June 12th at midnight, will begin in our riding. So let's talk about that decision.
Well, I think everybody's looking forward to that, whether it's getting a haircut or just some of the additional openings that we're going to see. So I think it just reflects back on how this area has been working hard to make sure that they flatten the curve, because we see maybe not a big area of the province not opening, but certainly population-wise, the majority are not. So it's good news for the region, and look forward to it.
And that regional approach was something that was discussed a lot, and we know that a lot of health units were pushing for that.
Yeah, and so we even with the restaurants, patios, we're also passed regulations so that the patios can be opened very quickly without a lot of applications or expense. So it's really determined by the municipality. So we're looking forward to that too, because they've been suffering. I mean, they've been trying to keep going with takeout, but really that's been a small part of their business. Same with barbers and hairdressers. Great to see, because I know we get the question on that quite a bit.
Absolutely. Now, there have been questions as well. We know that places of worship will be allowed to reopen across the province at 30% capacity with social distancing measures in place, but there have been some questions in terms of weddings and funerals and things like that.
Yeah, and weddings and funerals, they typically, people travel from greater distances, which is kind of contrary to where we want to go. As well, they tend to be a lot more emotional, so social distancing can be more of a challenge. So, it's a practice we're going to hold off on a while. We are opening up to groups of 10. So it is something with, like, I'm sure the people would like to see move forward. It seems to be the last few weeks have been tough weeks for people I know in the region. So we're looking forward to moving that ahead, but that'll likely be much further along.
And of course, as this is happening, we've seen some good numbers in terms of the province's COVID-19 cases. Again, most of them are in the GTA, and the numbers are pretty low. So both Dr. Williams and Minister Elliott have expressed cautious optimism that the numbers are trending the right way.
Yeah, we've been quite successful keeping the numbers in the 200s. We look forward to continuing that trend. As I say, it's never been about eliminating the spread, because that's next to impossible, but actually managing to make sure that it's within our healthcare system, and that we don't overwhelm it and create additional deaths that are unnecessary.
Absolutely, and of course, MPP, we've alluded to the struggle that businesses have faced. This is going to be good news for them, but as well, the province has created a ban on commercial evictions for the time being.
Yeah, there's no question. A lot of our businesses have been shut down, essentially no revenue. So we want to make sure that coming out of this COVID epidemic, that we really have the opportunity to have them survive, continue on. There's a lot of investments that are at stake here. And, through no fault of their own, they got caught up in the pandemic. So we think that's fair. And it's a good deal for the leasee and the leaser. So we look forward to making that work, and with the help of the federal government, put this plan in place.
And finally, shifting away from COVID-19, of course, we've all been watching the racial tension in the United States. We saw a protest right here in Cornwall. The world is galvanizing together to do something about racial inequality. And on that note, there's been a new commission by the Premier on terms of equality of opportunity.
Well, it's certainly overdue. I mean, to see this type of thing. I like to think it doesn't happen to that extent in Canada, but we all know what happens. So it's just this day and age, it's unacceptable, and it's time to move ahead. And to hopefully this committee will be able to identify any other issues that are there and to eliminate them. I mean, we enjoy the freedoms in this country, but everybody needs to enjoy them.
Absolutely. On that note, MPP, thank you so much for joining me for this provincial update.
Well, thank you, and look forward to next week.